everybody, thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please don't forget to give the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. We're so close to 1,000. I think the last time I checked, I'm 5 people away, and I'll be doing my fantastic giveaway once we do hit that 1,000. So I want to show you what we're going to make today. This is made from a vintage, or could be antique, no, I think it's more vintage, hand-tatted handkerchief. And I'm going to show you, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt this to see if we can do this. And I'm going to do it using, let me move this, and I'll look at the cute little hangers. Those are from Odulcina. There you go. I love them. So let me show you how we're going to do this. So I kind of recreated a hanky somewhat, or I'm going to. How's that? So what we're going to do is we're going to iron this out, and then I'm going to, what I did is I did it 11 by 11, but I probably should have done 12 by 12, but it might not matter. So we'll soon figure that out. So I'm going to iron this out, and then what I'm going to do is I am actually going to stitch the corners with my sewing machine just a tad bit. Let me turn this up a little bit. It's kind of low. Just a tad bit so I can kind of finish off the edges a little bit. So this is 100% cotton. Her fabrics are gorgeous. Whoops, just dropped something. Her fabrics are absolutely gorgeous, and they tear well, and I keep buying it because I love it. And I have another project that I'm thinking about doing, and I'll be doing, I'll use her fabric. So I'm going to call this my design team project for Odulcina Scrap. So you sit tight, and I'm going to go stitch. And I find the best way to do this is it only needs to be a hair, just a wee bit. So I just kind of take my iron and just slightly just make a little crease on it. And for this project, I will show you what you're going to need, and I will put it in my description box below so you can grab whatever you need. So let me go stitch this up and finish my ironing, and I'll be back to show you how to do it. And I happen to have this really nice pink in my machine, so that's what I used. So what you want to do, and then I found silk, and I said, oh my gosh, am I going to line this? Should I line it? And you know what? I decided I'm not going to bother lining. So what next thing we want to do is we want to iron it again. We want to make sure we have all of the wrinkles and everything out. Sorry, guys. I haven't one of those iWatches, and my phone shuts off, and then the iWatch is still on. We want to use some starch, and I'll show you why. So we're gonna starch it up just a little. This stuff comes out fast. My mother used to use this when I was a kid for my dad's shirts. Oh my gosh, it brings back memories. So you want to iron it with the starch, and that gives it a nice iron, and it adds a little stiffness to your fabric. So when you fold, you'll see your creases. So let's get that nice. You don't have to exactly be perfect sewing wise. All right, so I think that's good. Let me turn my iron. Our next step is going to be, we're going to fold this in half. And then you're going to make a crease. Now, it's going to be hard to see on film, the crease, but you'll see it when you do it because the starch helps you to see it. See if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. I don't know what that is. Then you're going to take your next, oh, you're going to do this so it's backwards side up. So then you're going to take your next half and you're going to fold it to your crease. And you're going to create another crease like this. And I'm going to turn my watch off so you guys don't have to hear it binging. All right, and then we're going to take the other side. Try to do this so you guys can see. And we're going to fold it in to the other crease. So this is why you need it to be somewhat, not perfect, because let's face it, the vintage hankies are kind of not perfect. So we're going to do this. So next, we're going to open it and we're going to turn it to this side. Now this is where it gets tricky. Where your folds are, the very first one, see them right here? You're going to take this and you're going to fold it right to your middle fold that you have. And then you're going to fold again. You're going to take it again on the opposite side and fold it right to that middle fold. So it should look like this. Let me see if I can bring that camera up a little bit. There we go. So it should look like this. Okay, then you're going to take your iron and you're going to iron that down. And that'll help you quite a bit. Now, some people sew on theirs, hand stitch a little bit. I'm a glue lady. I like to glue, so that's what I did. So basically, this is going to be the bottom of your dress. So, see, when you fan it out, that's going to be the bottom of your dress. And this is the top. So then you're going to take a piece right here, just a little, and you're going to bring it back just like this. And you're going to give yourself a little crease. And you're going to do the same thing. You want to try to do it as even as you can. This is going to be your neckline for the dress. So you kind of want to try to make it even as possible. Okay, then we're going to turn this over. And you're going to take your very bottom piece and you're going to go up, so there's like about, let's say maybe ½ an inch. And you're going to crease that. Then, this is where you figure out your size of your dress. So if you're doing it for a journal, you kind of want to hold on to your journal and see exactly the best way for you to do it. So you're going to see that's going to be the top of your dress. And I iron, and you know what? If you iron and you screw up, it's not really a big deal because you can re-iron. So then let's fold this down and give it a little iron. And we're going to fold this down and just give it a little bit of an iron, just so it holds itself down. So we're going to turn this back over again. And we're going to make sure these are down. We're going to take this part right here and we're going to pull it back so it's a rectangle. And you're going to create your little sleeves over here next. So you want to iron that down like so. You don't want to iron these edges though. You just want to iron this down. So So hang on to this, flip it over. We are going to be gluing a lot of this down. So you're going to take this piece and you're going to see these two want to kind of pop up. You are going to take this and you're going to create sort of like a triangle piece. See that? And you want to do the same thing with the other one. Then you want to take your iron, of course. Oh no, I think I kept mine on. You want to iron that down because it's going to make it much easier for you when you do the other side. So we're going to flip that back over. And I forgot, I want to kind of show you something. This is where your bottom of your dress is going to be. And it's going to fold out. It doesn't look like a dress yet, but you'll see. It's going to. Okay, so we want to flip this over like this. And that's kind of how it looks. So what we want to do is flip it back over again, and you're going to make, hold on, wait a minute, sorry. You're going to, see, I'm kind of doing this along with you guys. You're going to fold this back because you're going to create the bodice of the dress. And you kind of want them to be somewhat even. And you want to look on the other side as well to see if it's even. And again, I fidget with it after it's done. Okay, so that looks pretty even. And then your dress is going to fan out on the bottom like this. And you could have as many pleats as you want. You don't have to fan it out. You can do an evening gown if you have, you know, an evening gown. But I'm using this beautiful fabric. So I will fan it out somewhat. Let's see. Like this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this and then fan it out first. I think that's going to make it easier when I do that. So let's fan this bottom out. And like I said, I go back, can't even begin to tell you how many times I went back and fidgeted with the other one. Let me just iron that down. And we'll see how that looks as we go. Let's go back to this again and fold this back. Like this. You don't want to take your whole bottom because you kind of want that is to flare out a little bit. And I like to kind of pull it so there's a thinner waist. And I'll show you how I did that. So let's look at on the other side and see how it looks. See, that's a little uneven there, up there. But we can always fix that a little bit by, let's see, pulling this one out a hair. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. So then what you're going to do is you're going to, and you know what, it's probably not going to matter because we're going to pull, this down. Oop, it's like origami here. And we're going to make a cap sleeve on either side. So if you want it even, just play around with it in the back a little bit. Like this. So let's take this and iron this and see how it looks on the other side. And then I'll show you, whoops, how I glue it all down. So you may want to play with the sleeves a little more. And point this up a little bit. As well. So let's see how that looks. Whoops. And we're going to add some trims across the top, so wouldn't be too focused on the evenness of it. And when you wear a dress, since when does it ever fall on you evenly? It doesn't. I am too much of a perfectionist, guys. Then take that and iron that down. So then we have our dress. Let's pull this out a little bit. And like I said, you can have your dress, you can have it bunched up on the bottom like this. You can have it closed in a little bit, your V. And I only closed my other one in a little bit because of the beautiful, beautiful tatting on that piece. So if you close this in just a hair, it kind of gives the dress some bulk to it. Kind of looks, I think, kind of bulky. It looks good. So let's see what we come up with here. I'm not crazy about the evenness of this, but let's see if we can play around with it. So this would have to go in a hair. Just so it's, there we go. I think that's a little wider on that side. So let's turn it around when we do this and see what we did. So I'm kind of thinking, let's pull this out a little bit. And I think because this is a little thicker than this one, we need to pull it in a little more. So let's see how that looks. I like that better, much better. What do you think? So now, what I do, and I'll show you the next step, I kind of just want to play with this a little bit more here. Just so, yeah, we got that little sleeve hanging. So if you get any of Anne's fabrics, you make sure you wash them first because it makes everything more vibrant. Her colors, I just love them. And I'll link her below. She's got 2 pages on Etsy. She has one that she sells her digitals and one that she sells her physical items on. I'm not going to mess with that much more. So the next step, what I did was I started gluing just to secure this down. So I put a little glue in here, put a little glue in here, and you don't need a lot. I don't even know if it came out. Let's see. Yeah, I think it did. Just a hair. I shouldn't be gluing on top of my ironing area. think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my ironing area away, and I'm going to work on my top here, my glass top. So then what I'm going to do too is I'm going to take some glue and just kind of tack just a little bit down in here, and this will, and I push it in just a little further so I can hang some lace off of it as well. And let's just do a little here and just a little here, and then I go to the back, and this, you're not going to see any of this. I glue it down here because this is going to be on the back of your journal. And then I'll put a little in here. And then let's see. You just kind of want to get these areas just so they tack down. And again, you can hand stitch them. I just chose not to. I'm lazy today. So you're not going to believe this, but I spent the day again yesterday at the dentist. So I happen, in my youth and in my younger years, I was a grinder and a clencher. So I am paying for it now. And yes, I need yet another tooth extracted, unfortunately. So that is going to really stink. But, you know, what am I going to do? And then I'm going to get an implant put in. So it's quite the procedure, I was told. So we'll see. So I have this. Let's see how this looks. I just kind of pulled it out. What do you think? So we can kind of put that here, possibly. And I want to do something in the middle like I did the other. So let me see. Let me go grab a few things, and I'll be right back. So I have a little design team goodie box that Ann sent. And some of them I've purchased as well. So this is going to be, this is kind of a shabby chic gown. So I'm thinking, what if we did this? And I like to make this dress sort of come in, if that makes sense. So I take it from the back and just kind of squish it, just so it has somewhat of a waist so it doesn't look as square looking. I don't want to mess up the cleavage here, but we can fix that. So I think I'm going to use this. And then I have, let's see what else I have here. I have a whole bag of stuff. So I have a bunch of stuff that she sent. Let's see what we have in here. That kind of looks sweet on there. And we can use, I have some of her lovely, lovely yarns. I've got a lot of it, actually. She sent me a bunch, and I bought a bunch. Now to find the end. It's got to be tucked in here somewhere. But I thought of adding something across the top like that. Or, let me show you, I have another idea. I have some pearls. Little pearls that we can actually add across the top as well. And of course, I really can't find them right now. So let's see, I'll use these pearls that I use for my pictures. Oop. And let's see. we could add just some pearls across the top. But I kind of want to anchor this down and figure out what we're going to do here. So I definitely know I'm going to add this. So let's do this, and I'll show you how. I just pull it like this, and I pull it like this. But again, I don't want this top to be pulled too much. And that could be where, you know, it could actually, I think I'm going to make this a sleeveless dress. What do you ladies think? It's kind of like this one is. And I added the, I didn't add it, it was on there. So I think I'm going to do that. And then we could add something. I could always add some spaghetti straps on here. We could add some, if we did this, I could add a little ribbon across top. Let's start with this, and then we'll figure out how we're going to decorate it. So that's how I pull it. So let me snip a piece of this. I don't like to waste it. I love this stuff. And you're not going to need a lot because you're just going to pull it in the back. So let's just take enough just to do the back. And again, I think all her stuff coordinates, which I love. And she's got some peachy pinks and pinky pinks and you name it, she's got it. So let me see. I probably could even knot that down. So let's get that glued on, but I want to make sure. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just glue that right in the front. Just a little. And I'm not too worried about that glue showing, because don't forget, I'm going to add something like probably a flower or something to the front. And if you didn't want it to show, and I didn't heat up my hot glue gun, which I probably should have, would have been a better option. So then let's take this, and I probably should heat my glue gun up because that actually might make it a little bit easier. And if I make a mistake, I can always undo that. So let me go do that and I'll be right back. So you want to try to adjust your skirt just a tad bit, just so it still flares out when you pull your bodice in. So I have my trusty glue gun here. Let's just do this. And I'll pull this right here. And this is going to go here. And that's going to go here. Let's see how it looks. I could still do those sleeves if we wanted to. But I don't know. Let's hold it and see. So let's pull this. Anchor this down here. Let's get this glue down. And a little bit here. A little bit there. What the heck? Oh, there we go. You know, it's just one of those days. So it doesn't matter at all what the back looks like, because we're not going to be seeing the back once we put it down on a journal. So do we want to keep these little sleeves, or do we want to not keep them? So I think the best thing to do is, and that's not totally even. Let's see. See, and you can always fix it in the back to make it more even. Let me grab some laces. I think I'm going to add some lace trims on here. And I think it might even be kind of neat if, hold on, let me go check that out. Okay, here's my other thought. And I think I'm going to have to cut a piece to see if it's going to work for me or if I like it. How's that? And that's why I didn't glue all the way in. I left a part, just an area. So if we want, kind of just do another layer here. Let's see if we like this. And we can still add some lace. Yeah, of course, I did glue it a little bit too much down on here. But we can kind of pull it. And then I can re-glue it back down if we like it. You know what? I'm kind of liking that. So let me play around with this. And I'm going to glue this down now. So then when I go and cut the fabric, oh, almost burnt myself. I'm just going to kind of bunch it in, just like this. And then I think I'll take the other side. Probably should cut this first, but I'm not going to cut it. Oh, here comes Gary. So then I'm going to take this and just kind of poke this up in here. Let's use these scissors and, oh, that's not going to work. Poke it in before it dries. And we're not going to see this because I think we're going to put a bow or a flower or something there. So now we're going to take this piece. I'm liking this. What do you think? You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and cut this. We're going to have a raw edge, but I think I have an idea for the... And we can always go back and trim it. And I don't have my sewing scissors. I don't want to cut the part that I sewed. So let's take this. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like an old prom gown. This video is going to take a little bit longer, I think, due to the nature of it. And because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Kind of poke that in there. I'm going to be careful that I don't burn my fingers. So we're going to have to pull this piece back like we did the other, just a hair, to get this in. Now, I just want to make sure that I don't have it too bulky, because we don't want it to be too much either. Ooh. What do you think? I'm liking it. And then I can trim up the bottom after. But I also think I'm going to add something. You know me, I like to add stuff. So let's just kind of put this down like this. And we'll glue this down. And then we'll do the other side. I don't know why this is not coming out so good. And we'll glue this like this. I'm talking myself through this. So now we have this. Now we have to decide if we like this. Oh, you know what we could do? if I have others, we could kind of do a little grouping. Or I could take some of, she has this great little pack, and I think she just showed it on her last video, and I think it's called like the tassel pack or something. And it's nice because when it ships in a, I think she said an envelope, and it's a little bit of everything that she has. So let's see if we can play around with this and maybe take some, and we got to open this up. You know, I tend to make a mess with all this stuff, but I'm not going to. Oh, these are beautiful. And they're so soft. All right, here we go. Let's see. So, ooh, this is kind of chiffon-y looking. Or, you know what? I can also do is I can just do a double wrap of this, but I kind of like this chiffon-y look. What do you think? It's kind of two colors, but it really looks pretty, I think. Or we could do a bow here. Say if we did a bow. Just trying to see. And what if we did a flower in the center of the bow? Now that kind of looks good. So let's try that out. Excuse me. I don't like to waste this stuff. And I know she's got a lot, but I still don't like to waste. So let's cut this and make a little bow. So I'm not so great at making these little bows. So I've got the bow, but I think it needs some white. So let me add a little bit of the white. We'll make like a tail to it. I'm gonna mess this up, I know it. Not that, this pack. So if we add just a little bit of white underneath. What do you think? I also have some, I'm not crazy about that. So I might add, I also have some other, hold on, I'll be right back. Now I'm liking this a little better. So I took away the thicker pink one, and I think we're going to do that. I mean, I could always add another pink. I think it might be the same one, and make this a little wider. Let's see how this would look. Just leave this like that. Kind of make it, I think I had a prom gown like this back in the day. Not the colors, but with the waist my grandmother made me. So if we do that, and we add that in the middle, and that kind of gives it some texture too. So what do you think? And I like that. So let's put that down. And I kind of like the bulk on this as well. So I don't want to waste too much of this. So I'm only going to cut as much as I need to wrap it around the back. Let me get my sewing scissors because this is not working with my paper scissors. So we'll cut. Let's see. I like that in the center. I should get the spatula. I love how Ann says spatula. And I love you, your doll. Just put a little there just to keep it. And I kind of like it. It gives it more depth. There we go. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of playing around with things to figure it out. So put that down a little better. There. And I think we might trim these off a little bit too after. And I think, you know what, I'm going to wait because I want to put some lace on here first, because then we might not like it after we add lace. So let me go do that. Okay, guys, so this is taking a little bit longer, and I don't like having my videos go too long. So I think what I'm going to do is I will finish tomorrow with part 2. You guys, thanks for watching and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.